bashes every liberal who dared call Trump racist. Ever since Donald Trump won the elections, he's been attacked by the liberals. They still can't accept the fact that he won, so they labeled him as racist, homophobic and pedophile. Dr. Alveda King, who is the niece of Martin Luther King Jr., appeared Fox and Friends and defended President Trump. Many Black Americans think that Trump is racist and she blames the liberals for that. Yes, I'm right, reports. King also reminded viewers that although she personally voted for Donald Trump, she had no quarrel with those who voted for Clinton as long as they didn't spread violence, which is an example of the position the prominent African Americans on the left should start taking. When violence erupted in Charlottesville over the weekend, Trump first checked the facts and then released statements about the incident. Although he blamed both sides, he was still called a racist. King has always supported President Trump's supporter and defended him when needed. She's also a true patriot who stands up against the mainstream media, and Trump thinks she's incredible. Yes, I'm right, reports. This idea of Donald Trump being a racist comes from the fake news media who have told one lie after another, in an attempt to paint Donald Trump as a racist. In many cases, most of America saw through the liberal media nonsense. However, many Americans believed the fake news stories, and have incorrectly branded President Trump as a racist. Trump even condemned racism at the inauguration, but it appears that nobody remembers that. King believes that Black Americans think negative of President Trump because of the fake news from the mainstream media. President Trump praised King at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. He said that she's a fighter of justice, and he also thanked her for saying the nice things about him. This proves that liberals will say anything to show President Trump in a negative light to the public. However, there are many people that support the president, such as King. Ted Nugent shows Trump the easy way to publicly humiliate a Hollywood liberal. Rock musician and conservative commentator Ted Nugent had some brutal words for singer David Crosby. Crosby called out Nugent for being not good enough to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. During an appearance on the Fox News Specialists, on Wednesday, Nugent called Crosby's criticism a badge of honor and hurled several other insults at him as well. Advertisement. With all due respect to David Crosby, if any is due, here's a bloated carcass that has abused his body all his life. He is a repository for every drug and chemical known to man. And if he doesn't have that much respect or soul, then his criticism of me is a badge of honor. He can kiss my A. Crosby and Nugent's feud began because Ted Nugent told a radio host in Albany that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame didn't induct him because he is a conservative. Seems reasonable enough. He specifically referred to Rolling Stone co-founder Ian Wenner. Wenner is a very overt liberal and hates the Second Amendment. She is also a part of choosing the inductees. I'm on the board of the directors of the NRA, National Rifle Association, Nugent said last week. Jan Wenner hates the Second Amendment, so that's the only reason I'm not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Advertisement. When questioned on Twitter about Nugent's claim, Crosby dubbed Nugent as an a-hole and said that it was Nugent's lack of talent that stopped him from entering the Hall of Fame. When Fox News host Ebony Williams asked Nugent whether he would be in the Hall of Fame if he were liberal, Nugent said he would be too stupid to carry on a conversation if that were the case. Charles Barkley makes Nancy Pelosi choke on her caviar with comment on Confederate statue. NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley just set fire to the whole darn internet with his comments on the swirling hysteria around our historical statues. I'm not going to waste my time worrying about these Confederate statues, that's wasted energy, he said. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna keep doing great things. I'm gonna keep trying to make a difference, number one, in the black community because I'm black, but I'm also going to try to do good things in the world. Advertisement. Correct, hate begets hate only if we let it. Answering with God's grace and kindness and turning the other cheek is always the way forward. For many reasons, but why give them publicity? Half of these nut jobs, and this goes for the left as well, just want their 15 minutes of fame. Advertisement. Want to get a large social media following so they can serve ads with their lies and otherwise con people with fundraisers. Liberals always fall for the fundraising scam, so delighted are they with themselves when they can say they did something remotely good. According to IJR, Barkley refuses to respond to hate with hate and won't be screaming at a neo-Nazi who's gonna hate me no matter what. I've always ignored them, Barkley added. I'm 54 years old. I've never thought about those statues a day in my life. I think if you ask most black people to be honest, they haven't thought a day in their life about those stupid statues. We need to worry about getting our education, we need to stop killing each other, we need to try to find a way to have more economic opportunity and things like that, Barkley said. Those things are important and significant. Barkley's words must have struck a nerve because he damn near set the internet on fire. NAACP leader stuns every liberal in America, admits Trump's right. One of the leaders in the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, just stunned liberal America and admitted Trump is right about the whole Confederate statue issue. They are part of our history and not all history is pretty or agreeable to everyone. Advertisement. If we actually taught our children history, not only we would not have this to deal with, the NFL players would not be taking a knee during the national anthem. Those who forget their history are doomed to repeat it. If local governments of the federal government wants to remove them, that is their right. But to try to make this an issue when the real issue is race and how we need to treat each other better no matter who you are. Advertisement. And one of the leaders of the NAACP came out and rebuked the liberals and agreed with Trump, and it's gotta sting. She is not supporting Trump, not on your life, but she is honest enough to admit the liberals are wrong in this issue. And that in their hysteria people stop listening to them. That they are falling into the trap they always fall into when they consumed by phony outrage and a manufactured issue is entirely predictable, as it is sad. When a topic that deserves debate, serious debate, because there are always two sides to every issue like immigration, they ruin their credibility with their hysteria. According to the Daily Caller, local NAACP chapter president Esther Lee came out and agreed with Trump on this distraction of an issue. I think it's all senseless. All senseless, Lee said. You know, we're 108 years in as NACPers and we might think things would improve, but they do not. You know, we still have this factor about black and white. Correct, we have come a long way, but we have miles to go yet. She reflected on the statue controversy, saying, you know, that's history. That was in that point in time. You can't eliminate what history is. So I disapprove with young people local pulling down those statues. Lee then put everything in perspective, and if the Democrats are smart they will listen. A young woman died. 2 officers were murdered in a plane crash, and all for what? Because somebody in their mind decided, we don't need to look at that anymore. It shouldn't be. Correct. It shouldn't be, and the debate should not how we treat statues but how we treat each other. Something Trump knows and it seems the Democrats do not. Bill Gates just admitted that Trump is right and issued major warning. We all are still in shock of the situation that is happening in Barcelona. Major lives ended due to a single terrorist attack. This is a clear proof of how the world, not only America, is having issues with immigrants. They became a global problem that requires drastic sanctions. Some of them are terrorists and religious fanatics. Attacks like this one today proves how they are not innocent at all. They are not seeking a better place to live, they are only seeking a better place to bomb due to their sick beliefs. You Conservative reports that Bill Gates understands the severity of this problem, and that's why he warned Americans about the possible chaos that could happen if immigrants keep coming to our country. The Microsoft founder showed his support for President Trump's ban. According to Gates, Europe is already overwhelmed by immigrants and they are trying to put an end to the migration problem. What Gates suggested was that world leaders should make it difficult for migrants to reach Europe. This will help all the countries to put an end to all the immigrants entering the countries on a daily basis. Gates spoke about the problem Angela Merkel caused. He said, "On the one hand, you want to demonstrate generosity and take in refugees, but the more generous you are, the more word gets around about this, which in turn motivates more people to leave Africa. Germany cannot possibly take in the huge, massive number of people who are wanting to make their way to Europe." This is exactly why the leaders need to start listening to Trump. This is why they need to issue their own travel ban. Europe must secure their borders day and night in order to avoid a similar scenario like the one that happened today. Innocent people suffer because of someone's sick mind. Let's all hope that soon this problem will be solved.